You are right. Yes, you are always right. I mean, that's what you are, do, or make of everything you know, isn't it? How certain are you of your current beliefs that you cling on to? How certain are you that these aren't just there to give you some form of moderate comfort right now? A comfortable ride in your own roller coaster because you get the chance to manipulate the controls of your ride and ride at the same time. Maybe design your tracks too. Instead of being right all the time, we must assume we are wrong all the time, because that would be completely true. You see, our brains are constantly trying to make sense of everything. It does this by connecting two or more experiences. The moment it does, it is biased towards what it has put together. Actions have become a result of our experiments, thought patterns, emotions, and the data it has collected. This expands as one gathers more information and can now be linked towards that bias. The result, well, is inaccurate, always. In fact, it's extremely rare that we are speaking of facts in the first go. Unfortunately, anything that challenges our identity will be avoided. That's exactly why success is a concept feared equally to failure. There is only what our experience has shown what's right for us. Everyone has different needs, has had different experiences, and therefore will all inevitably come to different correct answers. So much for certainty in that, right? What you're looking at is known as Pascal's uncertainty triangle. Alright, let's begin at the top. Taking a decision here will lead us either left or right, giving us the second row. From here onwards, however, we can go left, right, or to the middle. Since we have two chances to go to the middle from above, we will do it 50% of the time and go 25 to the left and 25 to the right, so on and so forth. Now imagine you are at the top and a decision has to be taken. You can only take one decision at a time, giving you the opportunity to follow just one arrow at a time. Here we come to understand that there are infinite possibilities from the position you stand. The reverse is also true, which means once a decision is already taken, there will be countless ways how something could have been done. People have a great deal of an anxiety when taking decisions, often wondering whether enough data was taken into consideration. And if you really think about it, you can never take enough data into consideration because the data for any given situation is always going to be infinite. Look at the information that is provided to us by all our institutions. They all seem to encourage convergent answers as opposed to divergent answers. Convergent in the sense that it will give you one definite fact. Well, a love for finding the right answer, usually the most obvious one, immediately restricts the possibility of finding a better result. For centuries, we believed that the earth was flat, and the sun, well, revolved around the earth. Oh well, the best means of enforcing such education have always been religious institutions. But I'm not here to tell you how they did that. Let's think about which approach serves them better. The kind that gives you one definite answer, conditioning one to believe that it is a fact, while also allowing for better control over a larger population, or the kind that encourages free thinkers, imagination, and the freedom to question. What often got me really upset during my school and college years is a part where a teacher or professor asked an abstract question, sounding like she wanted to hear all the possibilities. But the second someone gave a textbook answer, she'd go, "That's correct." And suddenly, that abstract question led to an answer which was a universal fact. So I'd go in my head, "You fucking idiot." No one ever bothers to see another possibility, simply because of the need to be accepted and approved by the teacher. And not agreeing with the textbook meant being labeled as the dumb one, of course. At least that's how it comes across. When in fact, I do agree that the textbook could be right. Just as much as I acknowledge there could be a competing theory and more competing theories we haven't thought of yet, including the possibility of it being wrong. The teacher wants to feel accepted herself, and that goes back and forth between student and teacher, between other teachers and everyone that's part of the institution, between the institutions that control these institutions, so on and so forth. Well, me saying something about it would only result in a complete waste of a discussion, for everyone had already decided what was right. So, you fucking idiot it was. Heard of the backwards law? The more you are certain about something, the more uncertain and insecure you will feel. The more you embrace being uncertain, the more comfortable you will be knowing that you are uncertain. It removes the judgment we have towards ourselves, and in doing so, removes the judgment we have towards others. We have been conditioned to believe time and again that there is only one truth, one fact, always converging to one definite answer. We have learned exactly how to increase the chances of a fact being right. Take for example the use of the law of averages, which states, as the number of trials or observations increases, the actual or observed probability approaches the theoretical or expected probability. Here we purposely direct the flow of events, converging to the one possibility we desire, without enough outcomes to bring the law of large numbers into effect. The simplest example would be the probability of a coin flip. Flip it once and you have a 50% chance for heads and a 50% chance for tails. Flip it 100 times and it doesn't guarantee 50 heads and 50 tails. But if you wish the outcome to be heads 50% of the time, you just got to increase the number of flips until the number gets closer and closer to 50 until it is 50%. In this manner, we see that if we want to prove something, we just need to find more ways to prove it, bringing the result closer and closer to it being a fact. The same goes for disproving it. Collect enough of data and you will succeed. God knows you might even win a fucking Nobel Prize. So we know what we want. Now we plan our lives around that concept, as though we know the ending, as if there is a definite ending. So we start off oriented in a particular direction, but our purpose is vague, our intention obscured. As we move forward, we come across problems not accounted for. It's only when we encounter a problem that begins to point in a direction that requires one to alter the initial plan, we realize how wrong we were, thus eventually forcing us to take an alternate decision from the one that led us to that choice. So in this way, we keep growing. Unfortunately, the bigger problem here is the mindset that requires one to go through the entire process until one sees clearly how wrong one was. In this way, we learn we are never right. We can only be less wrong than we were yesterday. You see, certainty is required to have orientation, but finding comfort in it blinds us, terminating our growth henceforth. Being aware of this condition enables us to be more flexible as we move forward. It enables us to have certainty up to a moment that requires a choice to be made, failing which the process of growth will be temporarily suspended.